Well, guys, we're here at the gas station filling up, you know, cheap gas, $3.97 a gallon. Here, Josh's truck, filling it up. Got the boat back there. I think we're about like an hour, maybe an hour, a little more than an hour away from St. Clair. So, that's not too bad. $63.10 for 15 gallons. Crazy shit, man. Crazy shit. But we're gonna get some breakfast, stretch our legs a little bit, and then we should be there soon. Well, guys, we're entering Detroit right now. I'm being chauffeured by the greatest bass fisherman on planet Earth, Ohio Bass Guru. How far out are we?
We got half an hour.
Half an hour, and we'll be to Lake St.clair. So,
if we get through traffic.
If we get through this work traffic here in Detroit in the morning, so we'll see what happens.
How's it going? Pretty good. Oh, there's plenty. Yeah. We've got about 10, just picking them up randomly though. Can't get in it, you know, can't get into them.
When he says we got 10, it means he's got 10, I got fucking 0.
We'll get down to the deeper docks. We'll see if we can get one place.
Wing, go, man. I think I got one.
Hold on to her, Dale. Don't let her go.
Yeah, they all feel good. That's a little guy.
Little guy?
Yeah, you're fine. Smallest one of the day.
Hell yeah.
Well, I guess the leader made a difference, damn it. I need to eat that bastard eventually.
Hold up the camera.
Well, at least I didn't get skunked.
You got yours on too?
Yeah. 12-1.
Fish finders, power pole. There you go. Good one?
I don't know. Hard to tell.
Hell yeah. Leader.
It's a leader. I think it might be something to it, guys. Fish, man, it's like a golden fish. Like gold.
They're pretty fish. Jesus, man, it's on fire.
Enjoy him a little bit.
I want that too now, ain't it?
Yeah. You know what I mean? But like here, even the small ones, the same thing with you're talking about, they're not like Allen Creek gets small.
Yeah.
Like my wing is bigger.
Yeah, you ain't gonna catch.
I mean, you don't get like a dink dinks on like the Great Lakes and stuff.
Nope.
Nice one there. Nice white belly goldfish.
I don't know if they don't open their season up for like another month. Get them?
Yeah, it's a little guy. He hit it like a little one. Enjoy him a little bit.
Hell yeah, that's not a bad one though. Dude. About 10 foot of water. We got in this deeper water out here.
Not a bad looking fish.
No, it's not at all.
Yeah, we gotta get the underwater camera out, man.
I think the sun coming out might help us too.
How bass guru?
I found grass. There you go. Ah, shit, came off. Good one?
He looked like a little better than what I've got, but I don't think he was big.
Right on the right side of that dock.
Yeah, we'll just say he was small, so I don't feel as bad. Man, I just lost a 7-pounder.
Damn it.
You should have seen it.
Another one, guys. Yeah.
Yep. I'm telling you, they're buried on that side of the dock,
Yeah.
man. Definitely got that figured out.
Muting that. Yeah, buddy. Damn it, I threw mine back too quick. Doubled up.
Yeah. Yeah, guys, we're getting a little pattern figured out now. I think they're on the right side of these docks. Seems like we're having our most hits. I think the way the wind's blowing, it's like an ambush point for them. They're pushing, where it's pushing the bait fish across there. I called that. I said, that's catching a fish.
Like, oh, really?
We got lockjaw, man. Some fish here, guys. Back over there.
That?
That's a fat one.
Yeah, it's on the crank, you know. That's a pretty good one.
Yeah, she's fat.
Oh, that's a good one.
I got net. No, I don't got the net. Where's the net at? Your rod's in it.
Oh, it's a big largemouth.
Is it? I got you. No, don't horse him up, man. Let's get him.
Big old largie.
Yeah. Fat girl there.
Yeah, she is.
We got a little mess, a little. Oh, they're doing the rods in the net.
Oh, shit, you good?
Yeah, I'm good. A little green donk. Nice fish. Oh, that's a good fish.
Yeah, good one. That's a good one, dude. A real good one.
That's a little guy. Fat though.
Back on the right side of the dock, huh?
All right, guys, so we're pulling off the water here. Good day fishing. We caught quite a few fish, probably, I don't know, like 50, probably 40, 50 bass. Josh caught probably 40. I caught 10. But it was still a good time, guys. The first time I've ever been here, it was a real good time. I'm definitely gonna try to get back up here. So we're pulling off the water right now. Once we get off the water, we'll do a little recap here for you guys. So talk to you soon. What is up, guys? We're going to do a little post recap here of the Lake St.clair trip that I just got done doing with Josh from Ohio Bass Guru. We had a good trip. It was a good trip all in all. We probably caught 40 to 50 bass, smallmouth, and a couple largemouth. Josh caught the majority of them. He absolutely did. he probably had 10, 12, 10 to 15, somewhere in there bass in the boat before I even had a bite. And I wasn't too concerned about that because there's days that you go out with anglers, you know, and you have a partner in the boat with you that, well, one guy will just put it on you. You know, I've had it put on me a lot of times in my life by my dad, okay? It happens. It happens to the best of us. It just does. I wasn't really concerned with, it wasn't so much of, man, he's just such a better angler than I am, that's not how I was thinking at all. Now, don't get wrong. Josh is a good angler. I don't want to make it sound like he's not, because he is. Josh is a very good angler. And he's probably, honestly, more versatile and well-rounded than I am when it comes to especially modern-day techniques and modern-day lure choices. He's very good at knowing what he likes to do and sticking to what he likes to do, but he's a little more advanced when it comes to some of the stuff that a lot of people use nowadays that, to be honest, I'm kind of old school, and I refuse to jump on the train with it. But I learned my lesson a little bit. I learned from this trip, you know, and that's the biggest thing. I love to learn. And I learned some things from Josh that I need to expand my horizons a little bit, because it absolutely made a difference of Josh going with some of those modern day techniques over what I was doing, which is considered more of an old school thing. You know, I was throwing a 3.5-inch tender tube, which is made by Bass Pro Shops. And to be honest with you guys, and I'm not exaggerating, I probably have caught at least 1,000 bass on this thing in my lifetime. This guy right here, okay? It's a great bait. It catches smallmouth. It flat out catches smallmouth. I've caught smallmouth and largemouth, Lake Erie, Rice Lake in Canada, Alum Creek. I've caught bass in a lot of different places on this tube. It works. It catches fish. It absolutely works. So I had in my head, I'm going to catch smallmouth at Lake St.clair on this tube, and that's pretty much what I'm going to have in my hand 95% of the time. And I did. Josh was throwing, at least in the beginning, he was throwing a Berkeley Maxent flatworm. I believe it was a flatworm, but it was the same color. Same color, green pumpkin. It pretty much had the same profile. It wasn't like a large bait or a real tiny bait. It was pretty much probably the same profile, but Josh was drop shotting. And I just had I had my tubes just rigged up on a jig head, the hook exposed, and was just dragging them. And we're literally casting in the same spots, okay? We're casting in the same spots, doing the same thing, just slowly dragging our baits across the bottom, okay? And he was getting bites, and I wasn't. And I could not for the life of me figure out why, because I know this thing will catch bass, even on Lake St.clair. I know this tube will work. So I started looking into it a little bit more, or trying to think about it a little bit more. And like I said, I wasn't discouraged. Honestly, I was more discouraged with my cameras than anything. My cameras were causing me all kinds of problems, which was pissing me off. I was about to quit YouTube. I was a little frustrated with my cameras because they were just not acting how they should. But anyways, I was not really discouraged about the fishing part. I knew I'd catch them eventually. I just had to figure it out. And I was happy for Josh as well. So one thing about Lake St.clair, it's very clear. And I mean clear. Probably the clearest body of water I've ever been on outside of maybe Lake Hartwell. Clear. I mean, I'm talking 5-6 foot depth of visibility. Blue. Very blue water. Josh is throwing, he's got braid on his spinning rod, and he's got a leader, a fluorocarbon leader. I am throwing 12-pound Fireline smoke color, which is more like a black. Straight, no leader. Okay? And like I said, he's drop shotting, and I'm dragging a tube. So I know my bait will work, because my bait is very similar to the bait he's throwing. Yes, there might be some differences, but not 12 to 15 bass difference, you know. So I was starting to think about it, and then I thought to myself, maybe it's the drop shot. But then I'm like, is that thing making that big of a difference? Is the drop shot really making that big of a difference? But there's one other thing, was the fluorocarbon leader. Now, guys, I'll be honest, I've never believed in bass being line shy. I've always thought line sensitivity is overrated. But I was watching my line in the water, and like I said, I'm using a 12-pound black Fireline, which is essentially a braid. And I can see it with my eyes, plain as day, very deep. I mean, it stands out. And Josh has a clear fluorocarbon leader, probably 8 foot or so, attached to his braid. And it just popped in my head. I said, are these bass being line shy? Is this a real thing? Is this happening? So after he caught a couple more fish, you know, I was kind of talking to him about this going through the process. And I said, man, I think these bass are line shy. I think this is a possibility. So Josh tied a leader on for me. I asked him to. He did. And I appreciate it because I've tied one leader on. Because like I said, guys, I don't believe in it. I mean, I didn't think that. I thought that was just kind of overhyped, to be honest with you. So Josh, he ties a lot of leaders on. He's a lot faster with it. I could have done it, but I've been out there for a long time trying to get it. So he ties a leader on for me. And instantly it made a difference. Instantly I started catching fish. I mean, I caught 3 fish in probably 5 minutes as soon as that leader was put on. So I'm a 100% believer now, guys, that, you know, fish do get line shy. They do. And when you're fishing those real clear waters like that, and especially if the bass are kind of finicky. I mean, they were biting good, but they weren't like, it wasn't like every cast, you know, you're catching one. Those things make a difference. And that's where I got to expand my horizon as an angler. So I learned that. I learned that from Josh. But I've heard this many times in my life. I never believed it. I had to see it firsthand, the difference it made between him catching fish and me not catching fish for me to finally believe. So from now on, I will tie a fluorocarbon leader on my lures, on my spinning tackle, on my braid. I will, absolutely, because it does make a difference. So I'm just going to get in the habit. I'm going to learn to tie them faster, and I'm going to put leaders on all my stuff now because it makes a difference. I saw it. It does, and I believe that was it. So another thing, guys, is we started to figure out a little pattern. You know, as we're catching them, and Josh, like I said, Josh is catching before I am. I'm just netting his fish more than anything. But I noticed we're fishing on these docks on this main lake shoreline. And they're not your typical little dock. I mean, these are big docks with big pillars, you know, and big foundations on them. So I noticed that after a couple of fish Josh caught, in my head I felt like it came off the same side of the dock. And I asked him, I said, did you catch that last one off the right side? And he said, yeah, kind of off the right side out to the front. I said, okay. And I was kind of taking notes of this. Because I'll be honest with you guys, sometimes I don't even pay attention to the patterns as much as I should because bass are very pattern-oriented fish. They are. A lot of times if you can figure out what they're doing, they'll be doing the same thing across the entire lake. So once you can figure out that pattern, you can kind of focus you can focus the majority of your time to fishing that particular spot instead of, it helps eliminate a lot of the dead water. So after he caught that second or third one off the right side of the dock, and he ties on a leader for me, and it's kind of all happening at the same time, I cast it on the right side of the dock and I catch one. Okay? So now I'm like, man, I think these fish are staged up on the right side of this dock because the wind's blowing from the west, I believe. And what I think was happening was the bass were hugged up tight against these pillars on the right side of the dock post. And where the wind was blowing, I believe it was creating an ambush point, essentially. So as it's pushing bait fish into the bay from the main lake because of where the wind was blowing, I believe these bass it was a good hiding spot. They were hiding on the side of these posts. And it allowed them to come out, you know, and target bait fish coming across there. That's my thought, that's my opinion, and it seemed to work. Now, we also figured out, and Josh figured out, that it's not all the docks, though. It's more of the docks that are in like the 8 to 10 foot range. So those docks that were like in that 8 to 10 foot of water, on the right side of those docks, we were catching them. And there's actually a couple instances. One of them you've seen in the video, and if you listen closely, you can hear me say, I cast it up under, I'm like, that's catching a fish. Because we had it figured out. We knew, and we had a great day. Now, we also caught some stuff. We caught some fish on other stuff. I caught one on a crankbait. Josh caught a few on a crankbait. I think he ended up catching one on a tube. So, all in all, guys, it was a good trip. I learned a lot, and I'm looking forward to getting back up there because although we had a good day, I know that lake, after seeing it with my own eyes, is capable of so much more because we didn't catch any real big ones. I think 3 pounds was our biggest fish. That lake, I can tell, at a certain time of the year, you could probably go out there and catch 150 to 200 smallmouth. You just can. So I'm going to try to get back up there next week. I'm off all next week. I'm getting ready to go to Lake Erie. Tomorrow I'm going to Allen Creek, and then I'm going to Lake Erie. And then when I get back from Lake Erie, I'm thinking about going up there Wednesday, Thursday of next week, and then coming back home, you know, to finish out, fish a couple days around here before I have to go back to work. So we'll see though, guys. We'll see what happens. I just want to give you guys a recap. I know I said a quick recap, and here we are 10 minutes and 40-something seconds into this video, but I appreciate you guys watching this. It was a good time. I learned a lot. Everybody stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you guys soon.